Thank you guys for hopping on. I wanted to start off by saying I know that a lot of our team is based in Florida, especially on the East Coast, because I think that's where all of us are from. So I know everybody's like evacuating and do hurricane prep. I know we're missing a lot of people tonight, but I just wanted to thank you guys for just kind of making this call a priority, making your businesses a priority, and just taking the time out tonight to get on. And I hope you guys are doing your preparations and staying safe, and we'll like reconnect after the next couple of days. So we have a really special guest tonight, which I'm really, really excited. If you guys saw in my post, we have Carly Wood. If you guys, I'm sure you've kind of seen her through tagging and stuff. She's one of Nikki Whiting's coaches. She's currently 9-star elite. She's a Success Club 10 legend, I think, right? She's an executive leader. Basically, she's just all around like a rock star. So she's going to be talking to us tonight. So I hope you guys have your pen and some paper ready. She's going to be talking to us about mindset and some of like her best tips for being successful. So I'm super excited that she's doing this for us tonight. And then at the end, if we have some time, you guys want to write down maybe your biggest takeaways or some questions that you have for her. This is a great opportunity to kind of pick her brain. If we have a few minutes at the end. So we'll open it up for a Q&A. So I'm going to shut up and I will let you take over, Carly.
Okay, awesome. Well, I am like super honored to be on this call. And hearing that introduction, it's just kind of surreal to me because it's just a lot, and I like to share where I got started because I think a lot of times we get on these calls and we see people who are leaders or who have been doing this for a while and we're like, oh, it must have just been handed to them or they have something that I don't have. And, a little bit about my story. I was at rock bottom when I started. My best friend, I was living with her at the time and we were going out on a boat, flipped a coin. I was like, I'm going to go with you. Heads, I'm going to go. Tails, I'm not. And it was tails. And she went on a boat that weekend and got killed in a boating accident. And I share that with you guys because literally, you guys, I started this journey at rock bottom. I had a job that I hated. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was questioning like what I was going to do with my life. I was on medication. I had really bad scoliosis. Like I was just at a place where, no one should be. I wish it upon nobody to be at. So mindset for me is a huge thing. Like I actually took notes because I get really sidetracked. So I'm going to pull that up. But I'm still, if you guys have questions or anything, just jump in. But yeah, like where I started was not where I'm at today. And that is all due to putting in the same work that you would put into yourself, in your workouts, in your health. You also have to do that with your mind. And that's what I did. And I was one of those coaches, you guys, who didn't do personal development until 6 months in. I was like, no, I'm good. I got this. Like, I don't need it. I needed it more than anybody, So I didn't come into this guns a-blazing. I sat for my first 2 months as a coach behind my desk crying to my fiance. I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much. I don't even know how to run a challenge group. I've never taken a selfie, blacked out on my first team call. Like, legit, you guys, I was a hot mess. Like, it was so bad. And I just was at a place where I just wanted to be happier, healthier. I wanted to have a community. I wanted to feel like, my life mattered after everything that I went through. So that's kind of where I was at when I started. And now I'm getting ready to be married in less than a month. I really thank God for Beachbody because I don't know if Sean and I would be getting married because of personal development and mindset and the work that I've done on myself. We've been able to transform our relationship. I'm going to date with Destiny for our honeymoon. Like, who goes to Tony Robbins for their honeymoon? Like, it's just crazy, just crazy to see where almost 3 years later, where I'm at now. And the only reason why, I share this with you guys is because I firmly believe coming from where I started, not even just before Beachbody, growing up, I tried to commit suicide. I had an eating disorder. I went through some crap, and I know we all go through stuff, and none of our stuff has to compare to each other's because I feel like the emotions are there and a lot of them are the same, like not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough. Can I do this? All those things. But I share this with you guys because going through all the stuff that I went through, I firmly believe that if I can do this, anybody can. Like, if I can be successful at this, if I can pull myself up from behind this computer and dive in, then I feel like anyone can. And I feel like some of our coaches, and maybe some of you guys have struggled with some of this stuff. And, you know, it really all comes down to our mindset and what we do with it. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to start writing down like 3 things that you say to yourself on the daily about this business. You know, mine was like, I'm not hitting Success Club. My team isn't motivated. I'm never going to be successful. Like, start to be mindful of what you're telling yourself. So that's something I want you guys to start doing. And really, like, you start to become aware of your thoughts when you do that, when you write them down or when you think about what you're actually saying to yourself, because we always say like 100 things to ourselves on a daily basis and we don't even acknowledge it. And the first thing is your mindset. Your thoughts become things. Like, nobody can do this for you. You guys have to decide that you want this. You have to visualize what your why is. You have to visualize why you want this. You have to visualize what your goal, what your purpose, what your passion is in this business. And honestly, when I realized that my thoughts like literally became things, and the stuff that we put out there is the stuff that we attract back to us, I was like, whoa, okay, I need to do some mindset work, because my team isn't motivated. I'm never going to be successful. I'm not as good as so-and-so crap has got to go. Like, that stuff is so draining. And just saying it like puts a weight on my shoulders. And the only reason why I'm saying this kind of stuff is because I've lived it. Like, I got into the comparison game for a long time. I almost quit 7 months in because I felt like I was dragging certain people. And that's when things started to click. It's like, the more that you grow yourself, the more that you grow your mind, the more that your team is going to grow. I promise you, your team is going to grow as fast as you grow. So that means diving into yourself. That means personal development. That means doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, and just like believing in this process. So the second point that I have, because I've already gone off tangent, is recruiting. Like, never hesitate to share this journey, you guys. Onboard your challengers. And one thing that really shifted my mindset was looking at this as a gift. Like, this is a gift to be given. This is a gift from a mindset perspective. It's a gift from a challenge group perspective. It's a gift from like a clean eating perspective. Like, you never know how this opportunity is going to affect someone's life. You can't see depression and anxiety on the outside. You know, Nikki couldn't see what I was going through on the inside. So never underestimate like how this opportunity can change people's lives. I was asking in a leader group how this like, where would you be without Beachbody? And one girl said like, divorced. Can you imagine? Like, this is just such a gift, and never underestimate who you're giving it to. Don't make that decision for other people. The third thing is you got to have like an unwavering belief in yourself. Like, regardless of where you're at, regardless of where you want to be. If you want to be a top 10 coach, you got to think like a top 10 coach. You cannot sit around and complain. They're not doing that. You got to decide that you want this and go all in. Like, Sean and Nikki sat there and told me in my first 2 months, they're like, oh, you can do this, you can do this. Until I believed in myself and until I made that decision to do it, it didn't matter what anyone else says. So it doesn't matter who believes in you. I mean, it does to a certain degree, but you have to believe in you. Like, you've got to be like your biggest cheerleader, your biggest person. And you've got to get out of your comfort zones. Like, if you want your team to do things that scare them, then you have to. I literally told myself I would rather swim with sharks, alligators, what have you, anything, than teach in front of people. I was like, no, it's never going to happen. Never. And it's all like these lies that we tell ourselves. Like, we fill ourselves up with all this, I can't, no, I won't, no, I can't. And we don't even allow ourselves the grace or the space for, yes, I can. And so I did yoga teacher training at Yoga One. And I ended up teaching. Like, I was like, who am I? This is insane. It was all because of Beachbody. It's all because of personal development and just believing in my mindset. And it's acknowledging like what we say to ourselves and how we say it, and then ignoring what we say. And some of this stuff sounds like foo-foo-ish stuff, so I kind of tone it down a little. But if you guys want like some suggestions on like personal development or things that I actually do, I can give you guys that. at the end or message you guys this stuff. But I work with a life coach, and she's very like, whoo, sometimes she says things that are out there, but it really is, it comes down to like the things that we say to ourselves and how we look at ourselves and how we believe in ourselves. And the fourth thing is, this is a choose to business. It's not a have to business. We don't have to do anything. We get to choose everything that we want to do. We get to choose the type of person we want to attract. We get to choose if we want to work out. We get to choose if we want to eat clean. We get to choose if we want to invite. And I've used this like with laundry and like house chores and stuff. Like this choose to thing has like changed my life. I'm like, I get to choose to do this right now, because we can get bogged down in the have tos, the 4 vital behaviors, or, you know, the things that we have to do each day. If you look at this as a choice, as like a gift that you've been given, and that you're choosing to do this, it will take so much of that have to energy out of you. And then, you know, there was a lot of times where I had desperation energy at the end of the month. Oh my God, I got to hit Success Club. Like, mind what you're putting out there. Because I would go back and look at my messages from the end of the month, and I was like, oh my God, like they sounded like a number, like that I needed to hit a number. So watch what you're putting out there. Like, watch the energy that you're putting into your messages, your posts. If you're in a bad mood, or if you've got stuff going on, don't go into your inbox and do stuff then. Like, wait till you're in a space that's clear, where you're calm. I love to do the 6-3-6 breathing. Like, you breathe in for 6, hold in for 3, breathe out for 6. Like, you can do it in any situation with your in-laws, like what on a plane, whatever. I swear you will not have any anxiety. It like takes it all away. And then number 5 is like owning your own journey, like owning your stuff, owning your rank, owning where you're at. If you don't like it, you change it. Like, don't point the finger at anyone else. Don't blame excuses. Like, own where you're at. And if you don't like it, then you and we all have the power to change that. And I'm so like not a tough love person. But I firmly believe that we all kind of can come up with, oh, I'm too busy, or, oh, I didn't have time today. If you want it, own it. If you have a big why, drive it. Like, do your stuff that you need to do, and don't let excuses or the I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or whatever you say to yourself get in the way of that. You know, have a why that drives way past that. Like, I did not want to go back to corporate. I was like, there is no way. I work for Cisco, so I like sold chicken tenders and french fries. So I was like, there is no way in hell I'm going back to putting french fries in my car, y'all. Like, I had to like own that. I was like, no, we are going past that. And I let that like really drive me. So hang on, I talk a little fast. Number 6 is like being really intentional. Like, lead with intention. Be vulnerable. Be intentional with your posts. Be intentional with your relationships. Be intentional with like the people that you come in contact with. You got to believe in others before they believe in themselves. And just, I don't know, I feel like being intentional with your time as well. Like, if it wasn't for this journey, I swear, you guys, I probably wouldn't be getting married in 30 days, and I won't get like all emotional. But it's like when you can tap into like your mindset and that belief factor and own like your journey and your worth, so many incredible things happen. And when you can look at someone else and believe in them more than they can believe in themselves, you can see it start to happen for them. Number 7 is personal development. And I'm like the personal development queen because I didn't do it for 6 months, so I'm making up for lost time. But seriously, like, find something that's right for you. Like, don't get on the bandwagon that everyone else is on. If you need more spiritual stuff, dive into that. If you need more leadership, dive into that. If you need to be more vulnerable, let's tap into that. Like, do something that's really going to speak to your heart and your journey and where you're at right now, and then give yourself some grace to apply that. Don't beat yourself up. All of this stuff is a practice. Like, if you can treat yourself with as much grace that you give to other people, I swear it will change your life. Like, just like workouts. Like, sometimes we have a day where we can do 2 push-ups and sometimes we can do 20, and you just show up and you do your best. Like, you just give yourself the grace and the space to grow. with all of this stuff. And I promise you guys, it will be life-changing. Number 8, I get asked this question a lot, like what's a personal development book I would read? The 4 Agreements is incredible. Literally all you have to do is master them. It's don't take anything personal. So don't take anything a coach does or anything your spouse does, anything. Don't take it personal because it's not about you. Don't make assumptions. So again, like with this journey, don't assume that someone won't want to be in a challenge group or won't want to coach or won't want to be on your team or doesn't have enough time for this. Like, don't make assumptions. Just be the gift giver of this opportunity. The 4th one on that is be impeccable with your word. So always do what you say you're going to do. Show up, do what you say you're going to do. And then the 4th is always do your best. Like, just do your best that you can each day. And your best might look like half-ass workout, dying on the floor, cursing at Shaun T, and your best might look like maxing out and, hitting your goal. Like, it doesn't matter. Just do your best and don't judge yourself through the process. Number 9 is I feel like a lot of times, like always shine your light. Don't look at the darkness in other people and shine your light on them. Like, this has been a huge transformation for me. Like, when someone has done something or said something or, not wanted this as much as I want it for them, just shine your light on them, because not everyone is going to want this as bad as you want this. Not everyone is going to have the same goals as them. And instead of looking at that as like a negative thing, I'm like, you know what? I love you. Like, you got this. And I'll always be there for them. Just always support their journey. It's funny because there's a coach on my team. I literally asked her probably 9 times to be a coach. She has 5 boys. She's an elite coach last year, executive leader. And I just kept asking and I just kept asking and I just kept, being there for her. And if I had given up on that, and if I had been like, okay, she doesn't want to do this, or this isn't for her, then she wouldn't be at home with her boys today. So always like shine your light, your positivity, put out there what you want to attract back. And I promise you guys, it will come back to you. And then always like live your life aligned with your values. And I can share this with you guys in another call or just like notes on it because it's kind of long. But it's something that I've adapted into my life called Bridging the Gap. So it's like where you write down your top 5 values and then you rate where you're at in every aspect of your life. So with your family, with your business, with yourself, with your spouse. And then wherever you score like a lower number or higher number, you bridge that gap. And it's like, I like to do this visually so I can show you guys, but it has transformed like the relationship with my mom, my dad, my fiance. So it's a really good practice to get into. And then, your mindset is like a muscle. You have to work it. You are going to be so tested on your journey with this, with life, with relationships, and you have got to master that mindset. You have to be in a space where you are not reactive, where you are proactive, and where you can control yourself. I was a very reactive person before, and now I ask myself, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? 110% happy. Okay, someone else can be right. Like, that's not my job. So some of these tips like apply to coaching, but they can also apply to the bigger picture. And I feel like if your bigger picture is in alignment, then your coaching journey, your parent journey, it all aligns with each other. So you got to be aligned in every aspect of your life. You can't just rock your coaching journey and then let your shit fall aside with your family life and all of that. Like, you've got to be true to yourself in every aspect of your life. And then number 10, how I kind of do this is I say I meditate, and it's my practice. It's my thing that I'm like, yeah, I meditate all the time. No, I really don't. But I'm working on it. And it's something that is really incredibly amazing to slow your thought process down. I can teach meditation. I know it. But for me, it's like a practice to do it. And then yoga. Like I said, I went through yoga teacher training. Never in my life did I ever think I'd be like a yogi, and I don't teach anymore. But it's a really good way to like calm your mind down, to like be in the moment, to like not think ahead, to not project things onto the future that haven't even happened yet, because that's just energy you're putting out there. Whatever you put out there you're attracting back. So if you're saying, I'm not going to be 2-star, or there's no way I'll be 2-star, or I can't get the diamond, well, then you're sealing your fate. Like, you're not getting there. You need to sit down every morning, visualize what it would feel like to own your house, what it would feel like to be diamond, what it would feel like to take your team on a retreat. Like, what does the barbecue smell like at your retreat? Like, really like visualize it and like hone in on it and get excited about it, you know, like really visualize stuff. Again, this might sound like a little wonky to people, but it really does work. Like, when you put yourself in that frame of mind to be in that space and to feel like what it would feel like to have your dreams come true and dream bigger, you know? Also, breathing exercises, talked about them earlier. I do this thing called like cutting the cords, where I just like let like energy go. I don't know, if I'm in traffic and someone cuts me off, you know how we're kind of like, damn it, you. I just kind of go like this, and I'm like, let it go. Like, I don't attach things that get a hold on me. Affirmations, oh my God, I can't. So don't make fun of me, but I did one time. I had like 100 sticky notes on the back of my door. I was going through like a really hard time, and it was like, I'm amazing, I'm 10-star, I'm this. And every day I sat there and that's what I saw. Like, can you imagine if you had something like that up, like visually appealing to you, like put your goals, your visions, your dreams and stuff out there so you can see them every day. So that's what you're focusing on, and you're not going back into your negative thought process. Because my negative thought process from 6 years old was, I'm not good enough. And anytime I've ever thought about anything on my coaching journey, whether it's like elite, 5-star, 10-star, any of that, it always goes back to, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. You know, so identify what you're telling yourself. And then there's a whiteboard tool that I've used with that before, where it's like you can write down like the lies that you're saying to yourself that day. And then erase them. Like, there's something about putting an action behind things that really like tells your mind that it's not true. So that's why I do the little cutting the cord thing, because it's like a mind thing. And then I do a gratitude list either each morning or each night. You know, write down 5 things or say 5 things that you're thankful for. And then when it comes to coaching, one of the things that I apply with my challengers and anyone who I'm talking to really is feel, felt, found, like really connecting with people. Instead of like thinking of it as like a challenge pack sale or another coach on the team, like really connect with that person. Like, you know what? I know how you feel. When I first started out, I had $7 in my bank account, and here's what I found. By me getting healthy and by me investing in myself, I have been able to turn my life around. I've been able to be surrounded by a community of support. I've been able to push play 5 days a week. You know, like get into that space. Like get into the space where you're connecting with others and you're not just hitting like a number. That's a huge, huge thing, is feel, felt, found. And if you don't know how they feel, chances are someone on your team does. Like, I'm not a mom, so I can say, you know, I don't know exactly how you feel, but I have a team of women behind me who do, and here's what I found. They have said da 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 da. So that's been a big tool for me, feel, felt, found, and our team. And that's all I got. I know I kind of talked fast. I hope that was helpful.
That was awesome. Thank you. I wanted to kind of get the ball rolling, and if you guys need a minute to maybe think about a question that you have or something that you wanted to ask her, but I circled some things I love. I love calls about mindset, and I love talking about mindset because I'm like a firm believer in, if whatever you tell yourself in your mind affects your activity. And so, and I've found that like with myself is like, if you're just constantly having these negative thoughts, then your business becomes at like a standstill. And so if you can't control your mind and you can't control your thoughts, then your business kind of falls by the wayside. So I really, really love that. But then how you were talking about mirroring your life with coaching, I 100% love that. And I think that I've noticed for myself, when you visualize what you really, really want, all of a sudden you become excited to come to work. You become excited to kind of do things. You kind of see what you want, and becomes realistic. And then you, again, kind of start doing those behaviors as well. And I've also felt the tear that you can feel when your life doesn't line up with your coaching or with your goals, or you say that you have certain values in one aspect and you're just not applying them in all aspects of your life. And then that bleeds over into everything. So I think that was a super important point to touch on. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Does anybody have anything that you guys want to share? Something that you liked or a question that you have for Carly? Lisa, go ahead.
I wrote down some questions, and thank you, Carly. That was awesome. I took notes, and everything was great that you shared. Something that I feel like I'm struggling with is I do a lot of personal development, and I have a positive mindset, I believe, and I believe in myself. But have you ever felt in your business that you just need to take a step back? Like you're like, I feel like I've been going, and I feel like, oh my God. And I just like the past 2 days I've done nothing, and then I get down on myself, but I feel like I need that time to catch up on like life at home, my family, the cleaning and all that stuff. And sometimes I feel guilty for doing that, but I don't know if that means that I'm really not all in it, or if that's a natural feeling.
I'm always honest. So I've kind of felt that way leading up until my wedding, because I feel like it's a time for me where I really want to be present. Like I didn't bust my butt for almost 3 years to not enjoy this time and to not feel spread thin. But I think for me, it's knowing that my heart's all in it, but it's also giving myself that grace to be present at certain things. Like that's why we work hard at this, and to be grateful that I'm not at a 9 to 5 and that I can plug in when I want to. And if you know where you're at and where your heart's at, then that's all that matters. If you know that you need to take an hour or two or a day to unplug, great. But when you're plugged in, do it with intention. Like get your stuff done that you need to get done, show up where you need to show up, but never never question yourself for for putting your family first too, because I really do feel like you have to be aligned in all areas of your life. There's a lot of sacrifice in coaching in the beginning, and it's to enjoy stuff as well. A lot of people work 30 years to not enjoy it. Like we have a sacrifice that we make for a good chunk of year, like 2 or 3. Yeah, I don't know if that answers it or helps, but don't like beat yourself up for taking family time. Does that help?
Yeah, Lisa, you're such like a doer. So I don't know how you do half the stuff that you do with your time. And I think you take on all that role because, I don't know why you do it actually, but you're so good at everything. And, you have a whole family and everything to take care of. And I know personally, like anytime that I'm feeling like the kids just need to get out of the house or they've watched way too many shows a day, I will just go to the park like 30 minutes to an hour. And then I feel so much better. And then I can get it done afterwards. So like, if you feel like they're feeling distant from you or your husband, like just, that you're feeling that for a reason, and it's probably true. So just like she said, like you have this luxury, so dive into that, and then the next day is a whole new day. So Carly, I have a question for you. I guess it's a little, I love all the wonky stuff or all the stuff that you were talking about. So I dig that stuff. I have a question more about, obviously you're 9-star elite, all that jazz. So a lot of accomplishments there. How do you feel like you, like with your diamonds or like your go-getters, did you just know right away like they are going to be go-getters? Did you feel like you had to push them into that role? Did you feel like you had to give them more responsibility? You know what I mean? Like what? I don't know if that's a very big question, but
no, I'm like, I don't even like to call groups push groups. Like I'm like a believer person. Like I'm like, no, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Like if I can do this, like I tap into that like heart space. And it's like, I don't know, it's like if you can get through T25 and you know that you're not a cardio person, then anyone can. Like I know that if I can do this, like anyone else can. So that's like that's the way I come at it with my coaches. Like I've never been one to push my goals on anyone, but I have a unwavering belief in my team and tapping into their why. And I just had a girl last week who went full time. Like those are the moments that drive me. And it's like, holy shit, like if I can do this, like I know they can. So that's where I come from. But it also takes like, there are just going to be some people who aren't going to be in it, and I can't drag them as much as I want to. I've had to learn from my past of dragging people and then it didn't work. Mm-hmm. But I've got leaders on my team who are more of pushers, who are more of like that, I don't know, Ruby or whatever personality you call it, like that I wouldn't respond to that. Like if Nikki pushed me and was like, no, you're going to go diamond, you're going to do this, I'd be like, bye girl. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
I needed someone to believe in me. So I feel like it can go either way, depending on personality wise with your leaders, like what they need.
Yeah. No, I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I don't know how much sense this is going to make, but I know, so you, in the beginning, you were saying how like 7 months in, you noticed that like people started falling off and it was kind of getting, it was getting frustrating for you. After that, was there a turning point? Was there something that you changed after that kind of propelled you forward? Or I don't know, is there something specific that you changed after that? Or was it just that you had to get more people in and the right people, or, you know what I mean? I don't know if that kind of makes any sense, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I was like dragging coaches who I knew that this could help instead of focusing on their why. I was like, oh my God, they have 5 kids. They should stay at home. Like they got this, they have a mortgage. Like I want to help them. I want to pull them in instead of focusing on the people who were like, I want this. I need this. Like my family needs it, or I have anxiety. I need a community. Like I was just focusing on the wrong area to focus on, because people kind of have to meet you in the middle. And then personal development, y'all, I'm telling you, the minute I dove into that, it was like, and I know we preach it, and I preach it all the time to my team. Like I get on live, but it really is like, I've been in a funk with my wedding coming up, and I've just had a lot going on. I'm not used to that with Beachbody. Like I'm used to being able to focus on this 100%. It's pulled me away from things. And I listened to like 5 chapters of the spiritual junkie or spirit junkie. And I was like, whoa, mindset flip, just like that. Like I was vacuuming, it really does. You can flip your mindset negatively and you can flip it positively. But that was like something 7 months in that really changed as well. Knowing who to focus on, and just figuring out why people want this instead of wanting it for them. Like really, like I want to get on the phone with you. I want to know about your struggles. I want to know about who you are. I want to know what holds you back from this journey. Is it posting? Is it what people think? Like what lies are you telling yourself? Why don't you think that you can be great like everyone else? Why don't you think that you can be a top 10 coach? Like I want to get to the root of the issue, and then let's grow from there. Because once we know all that, and once we can clear that BS, then we golden,
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right. I think if nobody else has any questions, I think we'll end here. Thank you so much, Carly, for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and y'all be safe in the storms and everything.
Thank you. I'm nervous, but we'll see what happens. You guys stay safe, and I don't know. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week.
Hopefully we don't see you on the news, Teresa.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys. Thank you, Carly.
Bye, y'all.